What's going on YouTube? Kronos here and welcome back to the PSO2 video. So today's video I'm going to answer a question I've gotten a couple of times here and there and I really haven't addressed. My reason for not really playing JP as much anymore. Mostly I've almost all but quit playing JP altogether. So it does require a little bit of extra information, or I guess a little bit of a backstory when it comes down to JP, so I guess I'll start there. Now, starting things out, I played a lot of Phantasy Star games way back in the day. Really kind of took off when I played Phantasy Star Universe. That was really one of the first Phantasy Star games I really got connected to. And it was kind of a whirlwind, man. It was something that I played every single day after I came home from class. I played hours into the night. You know, as soon as I finished homework, I'd play for hours upon hours. It was tons and tons of fun. Made a lot of friends, met a lot of people, all kinds of good stuff there. You know, fast forward a little bit, Phantasy Star Universe eventually on the Xbox server shut down. It was kind of sad to see it go, but you know, it had outlived its time and I don't want to say usefulness, but it kind of, you know, had died down. A lot of people stopped playing. The servers really weren't being used as much, so it was pretty much something we were all expecting at the time. You know, fast forward a bit, friends heard me talk about, you know, Phantasy Star games on stream, and they're like, hey, you know, they have the ability to play Phantasy Star Online too. It's a game that's currently only over in Japan at the moment, but you know, using the tweaker, you're able to play the game itself with an English patch. And I thought, you know what, that's really cool. You know, I'll give it a shot. I'll enjoy it, or I'm pretty sure I'll enjoy it. We'll have to see how things go along. And at first, not so much. I wasn't a huge fan of the game itself. It was very different than what I was used to be honest, with PSU. The game did play very different. It wasn't, you know, some good places, but I was very confused with a lot of things. Certain things I really didn't like, and it caused me to quit after about a week of trying to play the game. Now, you know, fast forward a bit more, episode 4 is out at this point in time, and I decided, you know what, we're gonna give the game another shot, and that's when it really took off for me. Had a lot of fun with the game, and I always kept thinking to myself, you know, why is this game only in Japan? What's going on here? Well, you know, talking live streaming, you talk with tons of people, and come to find out that, you know, they had the what's the word I'm looking for, the plan to bring the game itself to global, like to, you know, the US servers, things of that sort. So, you know, that was something we're holding out faith for. If you guys remember way back, the PSO2.com website actually existed for that specific purpose, and it was up for, I don't know, what, 5-6 years before it finally was taken down, before we assumed the dream was dead. Now, let's go back to beginning of last year. Well, I guess actually it was probably, was it end of 2019, I think, is when it was announced. We're watching, you know, the Game Awards stuff and everything like that, and then I hear the Phantasy Star music playing, and it was kind of out of nowhere. I think it was actually the Xbox, not the Game Awards, but the Xbox stuff. Hear the Phantasy Star music start playing, and I kind of was like, no, there's no way they're doing this. And yeah, Microsoft was bringing PSO2 to global, or PSO2 to NA at the time. That's what we were, you know, figured NA servers. Finally, it was finally happening. We're finally getting our own version of the game itself. At the time, I was doing very light content creation for JP, going over something similar to the way I do now, where I go over, you know, some content about what's coming up, things like that. Read a lot of Bumped. That's where I gather all my JP information from, by the way. If you guys have never been over there and you want to get an idea of what's to come, definitely recommend checking out that website. They do fantastic translations. It's really great to grab information from, especially if you don't speak Japanese or you can't read it. Super helpful. But I did a lot of content there, and right when that got announced, it kind of in my head clicked. It was like, well, first off, if I'm going to do this content creation thing, I should really keep in mind the global servers coming around. This is kind of a good time for me. I really need to go ahead and jump into this. The second thing was I finally have a chance to have a character that I really want to connect with. When I say connect with, I mean, granted, it's different for everyone when it comes down to gaming, but to play a game where you're only eligible to play on servers that really aren't in your region, first off, kind of sucks from a ping perspective. There's certain situations that kind of, you know, can get in the way, but you also sometimes, I mean, at least for me, I don't feel as connected to my character over on the JP servers itself. There aren't certain things that are just like, oh, this is super cool, because these are servers that really were never meant for me. And I know everyone's different in their sort of way. It could be a bit cheesy, you know, that sort of thing, but it really just never clicked with me. There were certain things that I was just like, I don't really want to deal with it. I'm not going to do it. I'm just, you know, what happens if something else comes around? I'm just going to have to do it again, so on and so forth. Or there's always the concern that maybe they lock us out IP-wise. That is something that did happen for a while over on JP, where they had to create an entire proxy server for people to be able to play the game, because they pretty much IP banned everyone that wasn't in Japan. It was kind of a pain to deal with, but it's something that did happen, and it's something that we had to go through. Also, new patches come out, we have to wait on translations, story changes come out, things of that sort. It's always something you have to wait for that you really can enjoy at the same time. So the announcement of global servers, I got really excited because it was finally my chance to just do everything. I wanted to go ahead and go back and fix everything that I messed up originally when I started playing JP, and take my time and enjoy every single aspect of the game. Level up all the classes, understand how things worked, all those different things, and then take that journey with everyone else that had been waiting for the same thing that I had. So, the beta came out, jumped right into it instantaneously. Actually, I had an Xbox that I'd gotten from my nephews, and that they had broken the disc tray on, which of course I didn't need the disc tray, I just needed to be able to download stuff. So took that Xbox, plugged it in all my stuff, and off I went. Now granted, it wasn't exactly the best experience. It was kind of rough. On Xbox only, especially the base Xbox, it was kind of a pain. I say base Xbox, but the Xbox One basically. It was kind of a pain to have to deal with, and it was a lot to work from. It was, you're starting from scratch. Everyone was starting from scratch. And though I had a lot invested into JP, in reality, the amount of money I invested in JP and the amount of time I invested in JP was kind of just that. It was entertainment that I had for that amount of time. And though, yes, you do invest that money overall, it's not like you're really losing anything. Some people really equate their accounts like, well, if you can't give me back all the money I spent on my account, then I don't want to lose it, where I can definitely understand where you're coming from in that situation itself. But the money and time you spent on that account was literally that. It was your time that you spent on the account itself for your enjoyment. For me, I got my enjoyment out of it. I had tons and tons of fun with it. It was great. I learned a lot of things. I don't feel like I've lost any money because that money is still there. The account's still there itself if I ever want to double back and go back to it. I'm not getting rid of it. I'm not throwing it away, and they're not deleting it. So there's nothing wrong with that process itself. I'm just moving into something else that I think is going to be a bit more fun for me. So Global started up, really went hard on Global, played the beta ended, went back over to JP, played for a little bit more. Global finally came around to PC, and that's kind of really when it really stuck, because they announced a roadmap. And the roadmap, their entire plan was to catch Global up to JP, and moving forward release everything in parity. That's when it really sunk in, that I was like, you know what, I think I'm just going to play my Global account. Now, at the time, my Global account was behind my JP, but in reality, what it felt like to me personally was playing with a cheat sheet. I knew exactly what to expect and what I wanted to get hold of and what I wanted to set up. Actually, right now, one of my choices I made in episode 4 is currently paying out because of the weapon badge system. I bought weapon badges when they were like 100k, and I knew that they were going to be useful in the future because they're going to be used to pick up some really, really useful items itself much, much later on. It's kind of like playing a game you've beaten before, and you're going for that perfect save, that perfect setup to be as strong as you possibly can and have that character set up just the way you want them to. That's basically what I'm doing now with Global. That's mostly what I wanted to do in the first place. Now, yes, I could jump back over to JP, I could catch back up, I could do all the content that they have available to them, but I would just end up back in the same situation. On Global, I'd just be redoing that same content again, and it's not like I'm really running out of content to do right now. Some people over on JP have the mindset that they really don't want to do the same content over again. I get that. You really don't want to have to redo something you've done beforehand. But I'm currently at a point in Global, on Global, where I'm at the point where I finished off on JP. I'm basically in the exact right spot. I had to bide my time a little bit, but played mostly with my friends, had a good time, redid a bit of content, redid it from a different perspective, and now I'm kind of enjoying everything that I have coming to me. Everything else is going to be almost a brand new experience. A couple of things I've done beforehand, but it's going to be really, kind of going in. I always kind of joke around that my character feels stronger than he was on JP. I actually went back and checked. He is. Other than the fact that my JP character has access to an Ayer as opposed to the Rivalate with the plus pot, my character is mostly as powerful, if not more powerful, than my JP character, which is kind of crazy to think, just because I was able to make all of these different decisions and different choices ahead of time. That, and most of my friends are here. Most of you guys who watch my content are also here. I get to play with you guys, I get to enjoy the content, we can enjoy it together, and then also offer advice, strategies, information to everyone else that's around. For me, that's invaluable. Some people, they care more about the character they're playing at the time. They really want to just do everything, but what I found, and I mean, granted, this is nothing to knock against my my JP brethren, but a lot of these guys are saying they've run out of things to do. They've got all their gear, they don't really know what they want to do. Log out of the game, shut it off, so on and so forth. I don't want to find a reason not to play. I like playing this game. When I don't have a reason to play, one, I don't have a reason to make content, I don't have a reason to stream. It's not really something I wanted to do anyway. So for me, it works out better in that situation itself. But however, you don't need to be that way. By all means, if you're out of things to do, play something else. I personally just don't want to, which is why I'll be playing my global character moving forward. Probably will be playing my global character almost indefinitely. Unless something crazy happens, then I've got my JP character. I still log into him every once in a while. I still update his fashion. I pick up things that I really want. Just that way, when NGS comes out, if I'm playing, JP and GS for any sort of reason, I can jump right over and play it. No problem whatsoever, right? No issues. But I figured I wanted to let you guys know kind of my reasoning behind deciding to play, global almost completely exclusively for a while now, because I get a lot of people that ask about it. And it's even crazier because a lot of these people that ask about it are the same people that end up downloading global to just play global anyway. Granted, if you have been putting a lot of investment and time into JP, by all means, stay there. It is really cool. I actually saw JP getting a lot of really, really cool content coming up fairly soon that I personally am a little jealous of. Burning Ranger stuff I'm pretty happy about. That just means that it's coming to global eventually. And the fact that things will be on parity moving forward once we do catch up just feels that much better. It was the same thing when I played Monster Hunter. Had to reset, restart, but once we caught up, dude, it felt that much better. So anyway, guys, hopefully that gives you an idea of why I decided to make the decisions I did. If you guys have any questions, feel free to toss them in the comments below. Liking the video is always as much appreciated as well as you have for your ad block guild. We're not even going to go into all that. You guys know about it. Like, comment, subscribe, join the Discord, or follow on Twitter. Feel free to toss even screenshots, links to screenshots of your characters, or we have an entire fashion channel in the Discord of the characters you guys might have made. I know a lot of people really, really are connected and enjoy their characters a lot. Some pretty cool stuff. Anyway, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Peace out.